go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives by this point of pale light.
We shall prevail.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Rocket Tranquility, we copy you on the ground.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome to the Internet Space Program.
What's up, GM everybody? GM Pablo, how's it going?
It's going well. It's a little rainy here in San Francisco, but up in space, it's pretty good.
Up in space,
Cool
it's pouring here too. There was a big storm here, so hopefully it's passing now. Don't lose internet or something weird, but yeah. But yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to this week's town hall. We have some big updates here this week. As we've alluded to in the title and all that, we're going to give a big update here on our mission to send Frank White and a community member to space. So we've been doing reconnaissance here for, well, over the past month essentially, and we've got a lot to report on. I won't dig into that just yet. We'll have some brief updates, but yeah, hey everyone in the audience, great to see you, Andrew, Giovanna, Miguel, Zen. So great to see y'all here in the audience tuning in for this important update. I hate how it says LinkedIn user instead of who it actually is here in StreamYard, but GM, whoever you are. So yeah, got a little brief presentation. We have some like governance updates just that we've been covering or that have happened over the past week, just in a quick little notebook LM presentation here to kick things off.
Fancy graphics, wow.
Yeah, that's the graphics, right?
Gemini 5.5 is cooking.
It is, yeah. System status nominal. So yeah, the big thing today is the update on Frank White's fundraiser, but we won't get into that just yet. If you missed last week we had a great presentation about Space Camp USA with a couple of guest speakers, Enjabab, shout out to Enjabab, and Rosanna and others who popped in to share their experience at the groundbreaking a week and a half ago. Really cool. Obviously, the MoonDAO community supported this initiative through our first Launchpad fundraiser last fall, which led us to the Send Frank to Space campaign. Great to see Arobi here, our newest citizen as well, right here on the slide as well. Welcome.
Oh, hey, wow.
Cosmona Arobi. Yeah. So
made it on the presentation.
Made it on the presentation first week. And as a MoonDAO citizen, yeah, we're up to 204 citizens in the community, which is really cool. There's been a couple new folks joining this week. We got the space lawyer and Arobi that jumped to mind, maybe a couple others, but yeah, great to see the community going. I think we've got a few more coming. Obviously, you know, if we have a second seat for this competition, which we'll jump into, new citizens can still throw their hat in the ring, essentially.
Yeah. I also want to throw out, there's now kind of an updated interface on the dashboard where it shows you all the network updates, which is really cool. Miguel put that together just last week. So now you can you're like streamed all the different updates, different community contributions, citizens joining, teams joining, new listings. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, the activity feed's awesome. If you haven't logged into the MoonDAO dashboard for a little bit, pop in as a citizen. You can see all the stream of updates here. This is partially based on that as well. So yeah, we did have a big vote here over the past 5 days. The executive branch proposal for Q2 and Q3. Really, it's a 5-month project. But yeah, covering Q2 and Q3. We had a great turnout. There were, I think, 21 or 22 voters for this proposal, which was awesome. And it did approve, our voters did approve the proposal for, I think, 91% approval rate, which is great. So we'll be moving here to fund the project and get that all out, since it was meant to cover the beginning of May, from the beginning of May through the end of September. So we're already here at the end of May. So we'll get that going here in the multi-sig soon. But yes. And
you know that there's real democracy happening, because if it were 99% or 100, that seems more like North Korea. It's
right.
But there's it's good to have some dissent and some people that critically kind of review each of the proposals. And there's really good feedback in the Discord thread. I want to shout out Rena, who put together a template that basically analyzed the proposal in the same way that we do different projects. I think it was really cool, and we should do that maybe as an automation for all proposals going forward. It's just like a very structured kind of template. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, get that feedback flowing to proposals as they submit them. They can get that immediate feedback from the AI, make the improvements, and just kind of iterate from there. I think it would be helpful. Normally get those out after our kind of Senate review, but we could feed in part of that beforehand for sure to do a basic check. But yeah, we're excited on the EB, Pablo, myself, Miguel. Obviously, we've been hard at work here over the past month, but we'll keep it going. It'll be there'll be some real big stretch goals here for us as the EB to bring forward to the MoonDAO community, and we'll be working hard to deliver on all those, including the potential D prize framework and a lunar simulation and growing the network. All these things are super important, let alone the Send Frank to Space initiative, which is ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely our most ambitious set of goals yet, but I think I feel very empowered now with a lot of the new AI tools, and I just think that we have to. The sky's the limit. We should increase our ambitions with a lot of the new capabilities that we have. So we're not just trying to deploy the D prize, which is kind of one of the more complicated things we've ever shipped at MoonDAO. We also have very ambitious goals for increasing the size of the network, and then also launching another prize with the simulation. So that's it's quite a lot, but I think, given kind of all of our rate of execution, especially in the last few months, we'll be able to do it. So
yeah, we've laid a great base foundation, and now it's just a matter of kind of like growing and scaling from here and launching a few new initiatives on top of it. We've got a lot of the Lego pieces in place. Just got to put some together and continue the growth. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I think it'll be a short time frame. We still got 4 months to go, but
yep,
I feel like we can deliver for sure, and we're excited to deliver for the MoonDAO community.
Yep. Yeah, and another big piece is just following through on everything with Frank's raise, and we'll get into more details with that as well. But that's also going to be a big thread in the next couple quarters. So yeah,
totally. Yeah, we had some also just great community contributions. I just want to give a shout out to the folks who have submitted here in the past week. Kent and Iman and Austin and Titan and Zen. We've heard some of what they've done here already in this call, but it's great to see these community contributions. And I just want to remind everyone watching right now, pop into the MoonDAO dashboard, log in. Right at the top there, it says submit your contributions. So you can just plug in what you've been working on over the past month or the past week. But yeah, basically from April 1st up till now, if you've gotten any independent space work done and you're a MoonDAO citizen, you can submit those contributions and get rewarded at the end of the quarter. So yeah, we've had a great flurry of activity over the past week. I think 5 contributions or something like that, which is awesome. And yeah, this is your reminder today, Thursday, pop into MoonDAO Town Hall, submit your contributions, and also do the weekly check-in on the dashboard, which gives you other rewards that come straight to your wallet in ETH as part of the liquidity pools that we have out there. So you can get rewarded weekly, and then you can get bigger rewards in ETH and vMooney voting power at the end of the quarter for this work that you're submitting independently as a MoonDAO contribution. So moondao.com dashboard, submit those now or right after our call, please. Let's feature your contribution on next week's town hall.
Yeah, and the new dashboard UI puts it right at the top, so it's really easy to add your contributions. And something we're going to be adding as well is just more kind of like testimonials from citizens and from teams that are in the network. So if you have nice things to say about us, let us know, and we'll put you up on the website with a little quote or something like that, and hopefully motivate people to join. So let us know.
Totally. Reach out. Let's put your face and your quote on the website, on the landing page. But yeah, 204 citizens. Big welcome to Cosmonaut Arobi, our newest citizen 204. Also experimenting with a little bit of a weekly citizen feature. So we got Antonio Perinace, citizen number 26, who's also the executive director for Space for Humanity. This was just randomly selected, but it's cool to see who some of these citizens are who've been around for a while. Also a reminder to fill out your profile or your bio on the citizen dashboard if you haven't already, because that helps us get to know you, helps us get to know what you're working on. I think we have maybe like half. I did a little audit, and about half the people have bios and details added to their profile. So yeah, if you haven't, jump in, update your profile if it's been a while. And yeah, obviously, if you're not a citizen yet, join us, moondao.com/join, and get registered. Tons of benefits, including what we're talking about with the citizen contributions and just professional networking, the jobs board, etc. We'll get to that in a second.
I believe it's is it a quest to edit your profile?
Yep.
You can do little actions, and it'll get you started with like a little bit of governance power. So
yep, one of the first quests is just filling out your profile, and then you can claim a small amount of Mooney and then lock it, and that's another quest to get voting power. So you can actually kind of do a 2-for-1 essentially if you do those two actions. Super easy to get started. So if you are a citizen, definitely grab those two quests right away, fill out your profile, and get some voting power. Yeah, just shout out Open Lunar Foundation. They posted a job in the jobs board. Again, this is for MoonDAO citizens, but you can check out the jobs board. They're looking for a remote full-time position here, compensation in the realm of 70 to 85K for a project and partnership lead. So yeah, featuring jobs from teams within the network is one thing that we do, and one of the reasons to join the network. So check that out if you're interested in a position with Open Lunar.
And just one note on that, the Lunar Ledger is very cool. It's basically trying to create operational awareness of many different missions, either that have happened or planned in the future, and trying to kind of standardize information sharing in the commercial space industry. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, you could have a very meaningful role in increasing cooperation between different commercial companies on the lunar surface. So check it out.
Totally. Yeah, jobs board is view only for citizens. We also have things in the marketplace, a number of things. There's swag like this thing or the shirt from Symbiont Labs for 30 USDC. Also give a shout out though for, it was just added before this town hall, but SpaceKind added their new SpaceKind 19 training to the marketplace that kicks off in, I think it was September 23rd. And yeah, citizens get a 10% discount. So you can actually, the citizenship essentially pays for itself. If you're thinking about doing SpaceKind training, you can register as a citizen and get your SpaceKind training for less than the cost of what the SpaceKind training is, just because of our citizen discounts. And I know a lot of people in the community have already done SpaceKind training, including Pablo. But yeah, if you're thinking about doing this, I think it's highly recommended. Great other networking opportunity. And yeah, SpaceKind and Loretta are part of the network as well. So if you're interested in that in September, please do check it out on the marketplace.
I've been wanting to get some new MoonDAO swag, so
there you go.
Look out for that maybe on the marketplace at some point.
Yeah. People have been asking for patches too. Actually, that's something we should talk about, is getting more just generic MoonDAO patches and putting those on the marketplace as well. So we've had them in the past, but yeah. And just next town halls next week, same time, same place. We're going to have the monthly project updates. So a little report from all our ongoing active projects from Q1 and Q2, which I want to say there's 10 or 11 projects. So yeah, you'll get to hear from them and what they've been working on here over the past month or so for our monthly project reports. And yeah, if you're interested in submitting a project proposal, we'll have another cycle of funding for new projects coming up here at the beginning of July. So it's only about a month out. So get your, start thinking about what you might want to submit. And that's essentially it. Just wanted to give a few quick updates on where we're at in terms of governance. Went a little longer than anticipated, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great kind of slice of the community and what's been going on. Sometimes hard to surface all the things that are happening. So
yeah,
have a roll up like that.
A little dedicated shout out so people maybe explore a little bit more the marketplace, jobs, all that. Just encourage people to check it out. So a lot going on, and hopefully more to come. We're re-engaging with a lot of the teams and all that. So trying to get more activity in the network. So
we've seen a nice kind of influx of citizens over the past few days. So
yeah,
really cool to see. Yeah. So yeah. All right. I think so. Next year on the agenda is, and 2 people are saying yes to patches, by the way. So
yeah,
I think we
got to do
that.
Even for others. So
yeah. Cool. So we are 30 days out from the close of Frank's campaign. So we've prepared a presentation on kind of our findings thus far, and the goal of this presentation is to inform the community about kind of what we've been up to, the conversations we've been having, and essentially kind of come to a decision point about how we want to move forward. Yeah, the cool thing about this, the way that we've structured this is that we can solicit the community's input, and that's the reason why we kind of operate in this way, is that we can have direct feedback from the community in a very straightforward sort of way. So this is what we're trying to do, is essentially provide as much information as we can to the community so that we can make a great decision as a group. Yeah, we also have Frank and Ron who will join us after this presentation, who have been helping out a ton. Obviously Frank has, but Ron Rosano, who is a flown astronaut himself, has also been helping a ton in this process. So I guess, yeah, without further ado, I will jump into this presentation. So kind of very high level, or at a glance, we raised about 172,000. That does fluctuate with the price of ETH that's being held in ETH in a contract on Juicebox. Then we also received some checks as well from people. So just want to be clear, none of those funds have been touched. Nothing's been spent. We've just kind of been in a 30-day period where we are talking to many carriers before we make any decision about what we do with the funds. The good news is we actually have multiple options in terms of carriers that could send Frank on a stratospheric balloon. So we've raised enough to do that with multiple groups. So on that metric, we've been successful. However, there's still a gap. We don't have enough for 2 seats on a stratospheric balloon. So and we also don't have enough for a suborbital flight. So I'll get into more detail about what our findings have been, but once again, kind of the good news is we have enough to send Frank, but there's still a gap, and we have several options about how we can move forward. So here's kind of a slice of some of the companies that we've spoken to. We've spoken to a lot of suborbital companies. There are actually many more than we even thought at the beginning of this. We did a lot of outreach, not just to U.S. companies, but European companies, even Chinese companies. We try to find basically anyone who has either been working on stratospheric balloons. We even spoke to suborbital companies. The 2 main players there are Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin. Obviously, we have a relationship with Blue Origin, having sent 2 people with Blue Origin already, but New Shepard is grounded for the foreseeable future. So they're not flying anyone. Virgin Galactic, we actually received a contract from them, and I'll explain a little bit more, but we can actually pay this deposit. So I'll explain a little bit more detail there, but we spoke to Vast, and they even offered sending an AI avatar version of Frank up, which is pretty cool. We spoke to SpaceX, and there's some interesting potential opportunities there. Yeah, this is kind of it's an active conversation. We're updating the community right now, but a lot of these opportunities, we're kind of still meeting with people. Even in the last week, there have been some very interesting meetings that have been game changers in terms of what our capabilities are. But between a mix of one of the companies actually is totally in stealth, so we can't even mention them. But we want to do our best to kind of provide as much information as we can without stepping on any of those NDAs. One of our key findings, though, is out of the stratospheric balloon companies, none of them are actually commercially viable. As in, they're not sending humans at the moment. No, you can maybe place deposits, but none of them are currently operational. They're kind of somewhere in between these 1 to 3 steps here. Either they've done some test flights, they've maybe built some of the hardware, but they're all kind of in the testing and building and iterating stage. So they've all given us different timelines, but of course these timelines are always conditional on the actual hardware that's built, how it performs. So they're all estimates. So kind of a core risk that we've identified is, we could make a decision today about who to commit to, but there's always going to be kind of uncertainty, and we don't know which of these companies is going to ultimately be the first to do it safely and for a price that makes sense. So here's kind of where we are in our funding. So we have enough to put down deposits. We actually got a few contracts, not just from Virgin, but from a stratospheric balloon company as well, and also some kind of verbal agreements too. So we have enough to put down deposits on multiple of these seats. We have enough to outright pay for a stratospheric seat, but there's the gap, like I mentioned, to get to 2 seats. And we can make up that difference in a few different ways, maybe corporate sponsorships, maybe we continue fundraising, but we'll get into those options here soon. And then the one contract that we received for a suborbital seat was with Virgin Galactic. They've publicly kind of announced that their seats cost $750,000. So there's a gap there. We can put down a deposit and continue to fundraise for that, but yeah, there are kind of various options. So here, our goal originally is 2 people. One person from the community would fly alongside Frank. So I just want to talk about what would happen if we were to kind of lock in a seat right now. So if we were to go with a stratospheric balloon company with the amount that we've raised at the moment, we would defer or potentially drop the second seat. So that's kind of one option is we lock in a stratospheric balloon seat for Frank today. Another option is we continue fundraising. So we don't commit to any of the carriers. Maybe we put down deposits. Maybe we even put down a deposit with Virgin Galactic on a suborbital flight. Not that we have the funds right now, but we can continue fundraising. They're not going to fly for a bit, so we have time to continue fundraising. And then the third option would be we just open up refunds and kind of basically give all the contributors their funds back, and just say we're not moving forward with any of the other two options. So yeah, so really we want to come to a really good decision. We feel like we could rate each of the carriers based off of some of these criteria, and try to come up with the best decision that we can right now. But at least maybe speaking for myself or the rest of the team, I think even with perfect information today, there's just a lot of uncertainty around which company will end up developing the hardware. We'll end up developing the hardware, testing it, making sure it's ready. There's just a lot of kind of, even the companies themselves, when they give a timeline, it's just an estimate. So I would personally say that it is somewhat difficult to make a very, very confident decision about who we'd be flying with. However, what we could do is keep our options open and continue fundraising to expand what we could do. So this gives us a possibility of keeping the second seat open, of having someone fly alongside Frank if we raise enough for 2 stratospheric balloon seats, and also it kind of just lets us wait and see which carriers are making the best progress. So essentially, there's 3 main paths laid out in front of us. One is we lock in a seat, we declare victory, send Frank on a stratospheric balloon, and that's that. But we don't do a community seat. Path B, or maybe, I guess I do want to say this, even in Path A, maybe something happens where we find a corporate sponsor or something else where it works out. There are active discussions with some of these carriers, and we've been negotiating what a second seat might look like, but we don't know for certain that would happen. We know that we have enough for 1 seat for sure, and then the second seat, it's like kind of we're trying to figure that out with multiple companies at the moment. That's Path A. Path B would be we reopen the fundraiser. We kind of we tell all of the organizations that we're working with that lost Ryan there, that we're going to keep our options open. Maybe we place some deposits down so that we can reserve seats, but we don't commit right now. And then Path C would be just a refund. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I think we just lost Ryan there. So here are those kind of options laid out in a bit more detail. Path A, we'd just lock in a deposit with one of the balloon providers. We'd stop fundraising and end the campaign with Frank flying. Path B, we place deposits with companies where they're fully refundable, or on the ones that we feel most confident with, we continue fundraising, keep our options open, and then Path C, we trigger the refund on the contract. So yeah, some general questions that people might have. So question number 1, where are the funds? They've been untouched. They are sitting in the Juicebox contract, or in checks if people have contributed off chain. Nothing's been spent. Another question, why not just go for the cheapest flight? Well, that's just kind of one dimension of the decision. We want to make sure we get Frank on a flight that is safe, and that we have strong confidence that they'll be able to fly on the timeline that they tell us. And then why are some of the companies in stealth or under NDAs? Well, it's a competitive environment out there. We're trying to share as much as we can, but there's some things that we just we can't share. And then how would refunds work? Well, if we do come to that decision as a community, those refunds would be activated on the contract, and then we let people know that they can claim their funds back. So yeah. So what are our next steps? We are soliciting feedback in the Discord. So yeah, basically we want to hear from people who've helped fund this flight, get their thoughts about kind of these 3 paths that we've laid out. And we're not going to hold a vote just yet. We really want to kind of digest some of the feedback that we get from the community based on this information. And then we will, in the next, I want to say maybe a week, 2 weeks, around that time frame, put together a proposal to the community to vote between either these 3 paths, or if based off of the community feedback or based off of new information that comes in the next week, maybe we change one of those paths. But right now we're just kind of in a report phase. We want to give the community an update on what we've been up to, and have them weigh in, have the community weigh in on what we should do next. So that's the end of the presentation there. I'll bring up Ryan and Frank and Ron as well, who've been we've been meeting basically every day to kind of discuss after every meeting we all talk, and then we kind of try to sense make. There's a lot of information that's been kind of condensed down into this presentation. But yeah, I guess Frank, I'll pass it over to you to give us some thoughts about the process so far, and kind of your learnings or your thoughts in the last 30 days. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pablo. I think the emotion that I'm feeling the most right now is gratitude. I want to just thank everyone who has supported this flight so far. And some of it has been verbal, some of it has been in writing, some of it has been financial, but there has been a lot of support, and I really do feel it. And I do feel grateful for that. You know, going on a flight would be the dream of a lifetime for me, and I think everybody knows that. As an individual person, it would mean the world to me. It took me a long time to realize, yeah, I really do want to be an astronaut. I kind of knew it when I was 20 or 25, but I finally acted on it at a late date. But I do want it to be seen in the larger context that we are really at a point in time where the overview effect is becoming mainstream. It's becoming a powerful force. And the contrast between overview thinking and surface thinking, which came out during the Artemis flight, is becoming apparent to the world, that we're really choosing a future for humanity. And I see the flight as reinforcing my ability to share this choice with people. So I don't want to diminish my gratitude for, helping me to realize a dream, but also the dream is attached to something else. And I think it's attached to something that is a lot bigger than me. It's bigger than MoonDAO. And it really, everybody who's participating, we've always said, you are the crew. You're participating in this mission. And it has a message, Ron has flown. And I'm talking about it from what I've heard from Ron and other astronauts. Ron actually has experienced it. And So, you know, I think I think we've succeeded no matter what the community says. And I think Ryan has done an amazing job of putting social media out there. I mean, I'm all over the internet. I actually had one person recognize me. Are you Frank White? Yeah, I am. I saw you on YouTube. That's never happened to me before. So anyway, everybody's played a role. And I also want to just thank Pablo, Ryan, and Ron. We have met every day. We have talked to so many people and so many carriers. Who would have known what's out there? I think I would never have known about these different carriers. And I think it was really a major thing to talk to people in China. That's not an everyday event for me, is to talk to rocket companies in China. And if you had told me, I don't know, a year ago that I'd be doing that, I would have thought, I doubt it. But yeah, Pablo and Ryan and Ron, you have been there the whole way, and it's just been wonderful to work with you. And I really believe that we've accomplished a lot already just by getting this message out there and by really going beyond what we thought was possible. And I'm really happy there's going to be a vote, because, you know, one of the things I like about MoonDAO is democracy. It's democratic. And I'm really happy that people are going to get to vote. And we've done our best. For those of you who are listening and watching, we've really done our best to sort out a lot of information in order for you to have an understanding of what's possible now. So I'm going to leave it there, but you know, again, my emotion at this point in the process is gratitude and thanks for everybody's support.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah. Yeah, well said. Very well said. Ron, what have your thoughts?
Oh, well, same gratitude to everyone that's like contributed and has looked at it. Ryan and Pablo have done an incredible job sorting through all this information and like identifying all these opportunities. It's like, wow, what an exciting time to have this many opportunities. And I think, you know, the landscape 5 years from now for flight into the edge of space or into suborbital space or even into orbit with these different providers is going to be very different than what it is now. And even though that seems maybe kind of out in the distance somewhere, it'll be here soon. And now is really the time, I think, to start identifying these opportunities and get you up there, Frank. You know, the support, it seems like we're getting more enthusiasm day by day with some people coming out and coming in different ways. So it's been a great growing and evolving experience, and turned out to be a way more broader range of participation than I thought when we started. So It's been fun and glad to be working with y'all.
I would also add, I'm really happy to see that there's been a kind of a surge in people becoming citizens. And if there are people now out there watching and you're not a citizen, it's pretty easy and not very expensive to become a citizen. And maybe you never thought you could be part of a space program, but you know, the ultimate goal of MoonDAO is a self-governing community on the moon. Now, Jared Isaacman came out with his plans, and you might think, well, that's the only game in town, but it really isn't. And the more citizens MoonDAO has, the more projects it can fund, the more things it can do. And there really is a lot going on. MoonDAO has flown 2 people already and funded more than 80 space-related projects. And I'm just, if what we're doing here about my flight, if it has helped to inform people that MoonDAO exists and inform people about what MoonDAO is doing, that's a real benefit. I'm happy it's happened. So I'd like to see MoonDAO have a lot of citizens. And there's a long way to go, but yeah, there are a lot of people on this planet. So the total addressable market, as they say, is pretty large.
Yeah, big TAM, the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think yeah, what we're trying to achieve is a participatory space program, and one that isn't kind of just something you spectate, but something you can direct and be a part of and contribute towards. And yeah, I guess bringing it back to this mission, that's exactly what we're trying to achieve with Frank's flight. Is we want to have everyone who contributed to this mission weigh in and give their thoughts and opinions and maybe even insight. I think a lot of people in the community have a lot of insight, and we've relied on a lot of people outside of this small team that have been sharing their thoughts on the viability of this company or that company, or an opportunity here, an opportunity there, or have you checked out this company, or have you looked at this? And so we learned quite a lot. I think that there's a lot of value in the sort of community intelligence that we have as so we really if anyone has strong feedback or thoughts, we really welcome them, and we would love to hear from you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth emphasizing that it is a mission funded and governed by the people who contributed to it. So we have a bunch of you here in the audience, but if you contribute to this mission to send Frank to space, it's going to be you guys that are making this call. So yeah, Andrew's asking, where would you like the feedback on Discord? We haven't addressed it exactly, but I mean, we could probably create an ideation channel or a dedicated channel just for overview token holders. But yeah, if you have thoughts right now, obviously you can share those in general and get the conversation started until we have a dedicated spot, if we make a dedicated spot just for this. But yeah, we want to hear from you guys what, people who are in the competition, people who are in the running for the second seat, people who donated funds, what do you think we should do? What is the most appropriate path forward, I guess? And if we're missing a path that we're not thinking of, but we do want to hear from you. So
yeah. I actually just created a thread in the proposal section, so people can leave their thoughts there. I tagged everyone who's a citizen. If you're a citizen and you're not in the Discord, I think it's moondao.com/Discord, and that should take you there. So throw your thoughts in there in that forum, and yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah. And while we're doing shout outs, there are people who are competing for that second seat, and they've been putting a lot of energy into this. And so I think we want to say thanks to them for that, for the energy they're putting into it. And what it shows me is that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who wants to fly. There is a hunger, I think, in the whole human family to go out there and experience the overview effect, but even go beyond and expand the range of the human species. It's pretty exciting, I mean, what else do you want to do with your life at this point? What an adventure. And that's why I co-founded the Human Space Program many years ago. The Human Space Program is all about supporting human expansion off-world. And actually, we haven't said this. I haven't really made a point out of this, Ryan and Pablo and Ron, but a couple of the leads that we pursued came out of conversations I had with my Human Space Program team. In particular, Zafalto. I just threw out the name, and some of my colleagues there started looking it up, and that led to us talking to them, and that was a pretty significant conversation. I mean, there's also, in addition to individuals becoming citizens and also contributing, there is also the possibility of partnerships with other organizations. And we have been seeing possibilities there for partnering with other groups. I don't know if we want to get into that today, but that's another possible path forward.
Right. Yeah. I guess I didn't include some of those conversations that are ongoing, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of interest from groups that would like to participate, and we're kind of figuring out the sort of what it would like to be a corporate sponsor of the prize or contribute as a company or institution, and so that's also a very viable way of closing the gap with fundraising. So,
right.
Yeah.
And a couple of areas that if we do go forward, if the community wants to go forward, I do think corporate sponsorship. We've talked about the fact that we have an artificial intelligence component that maybe we could find some support in the AI community for this whole project, and also other organizations that are interested in the same things we are might want to work with us to benefit ourselves, benefit them as well. So I think there's still, if we do go forward, if the community votes for it, I think there is still serendipity out there. And that's the thing about serendipity. It's not predictable. I mean, we can't tell you, those of you who are listening, we can't tell you what tomorrow's going to bring, or we can speculate, but we can't know. And there have been a few opportunities showing up recently that we didn't predict. So,
yep.
Yeah, we have to live with uncertainty. I think that's part of your presentation. Whatever we do, it's going to have a lot of uncertainty involved.
Yeah. I mean, this presentation came together over the last 1 or 2 days, but there's information that came to us, kind of at the last moments that does, basically this is a very active process, and it's hard to say, it's hard to say 30 days, it's going to be a full report with all the information. A lot of the conversations are ongoing, so we'll continue updating the community based off of more information as we get it. But yeah, I think we digesting everything, that all the conversations we've had so far. It really kind of boils down to the three options of stopping fundraising, using the funds that we have right now to just commit to one seat on the stratospheric balloon, or continue fundraising and get to 2 seats, one for the community, maybe get to a suborbital flight with Virgin Galactic, but keeping our options open, and continuing fundraising. And then the third, always, if none of the above seem like viable paths, then we would have a refund activated. So there's always kind of that as a stopgap measure, if no paths forward seem viable. But I think we have 2 very viable paths between either getting a seat. I mean, by that metric alone, we've had success, but maybe we shouldn't stop here, and we should keep moving forward to get more seats and expand more opportunities, and let the kind of industry maybe mature a little bit. And it gives us more information. A lot of the companies we've spoken to have test flights that are coming up in the next few months. So that will give us a lot of information about where they're at. So, you know, it might be prudent to just kind of wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked to so many carriers. I think it was about 11 in total all over the world, as we said, in three continents. It's really kind of surprising just the amount of, or all the people working on it. Like right now we're in like a pause kind of in human spaceflight, or there's not a lot of commercial opportunities for human spaceflight at the moment, but there's a lot coming down the pipeway here in the next 1 to 3 years, or 2 to 4 years, it seems like. So a lot of these were companies that weren't even necessarily on our radar before we started these conversations, and a lot of them kind of surged up throughout this 30-day period. And yeah, meeting with all these companies, some of them multiple times throughout these 30 days, it's been a lot of ongoing conversations. As we've said, that there's a few that are kind of could be close to potentially finality, but a lot of them are still kind of just open and ongoing. So I think it behooves us to keep options open, but obviously it's up to the community to decide what we want to do here going forward. And yeah, we do want to hear from you about that. Great to see Titan already chiming off in the thread on Discord. So please, everyone here listening, do the same.
And I've also included a link to a Google Doc that has kind of, it's similar to this presentation, but just written out in a document form. If people are leaving feedback in that thread, you can click on that doc and give it all a read. I wanted to do stuff in a presentation format here. It's a little bit more engaging, but the document has even more information and more details. So give that a read. Yeah.
Are there any questions showing up anywhere now that we could touch on, because we're close to the end?
Let's see.
Some people sharing thoughts about the path forward. Doesn't think there's too many questions, but yeah.
Looks like Julio is maybe in favor of continuing fundraising. Yeah.
Well, Julio had another question too, saying the fourth would be the other provider. So I think he's asking if there's a fourth option with another provider that's not included. Is that right?
I don't know exactly what Julio means by the fourth. I wonder if maybe he's saying the hidden fourth path.
Oh, the fourth. I think he means there are 3 paths and there's a fourth path, maybe a provider we don't know about yet. Is that what he's saying?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the list of all the companies we've reached out to, and you think, well, they haven't talked to this company, leave that in the thread, and we'll go chase them down. There probably are companies that we haven't spoken to yet that are around. So let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, in this particular last month, we have learned a lot about what's out there that honestly, I can speak for myself, I did not know. I mean, I was totally ignorant about what was going on in China at all. And also, I had some insight about stratospheric balloons because I had been hoping to go on Space Perspective before they folded. But we've learned a lot about stratospheric balloons. And actually, there's a lot of technology to those balloons that I didn't know about. They're not that simple, really. They're kind of complex machines. So from my point of view, if there's something else we ought to investigate, I'm certainly open to doing it because it's really educational. It's been an educational process.
I think one of the conversations that we had along the lines of a hidden fourth path was to to strap you up to one of these military planes that fly very, very high.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about. Somebody wanted me to go on a MiG-17 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I said okay. I'll do that. I'm not likely to say no at this point. If somebody offers something, I'm more likely to say, sure, why not? Let's do it. I know there was a guy who got in a lawn chair and he had a lot of helium balloons that came up pretty high. That, I don't think so. That's
You and Moondog going up like
Moondog is much too smart to do that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty much exactly like the movie Up.
Yeah. I mean, there are options I think I probably wouldn't take, but most of the options that have shown up so far, even the MiG-17, if that's what it was, yeah, I would certainly do that. And yeah, we'll see what new things the community turns up. I think now we have a bunch of detectives working with us. So far, we've been the MoonDAO Detective Agency looking for carriers. I hope we've expanded it a bit today.
Yeah.
Oh, and we should always mention as an aside, that it hasn't been part of the fundraising process at all because it's being done separately. But in order to spread the impact and to get the MoonDAO name out there more and to get the overview effect out there in a more powerful way, we do hope to do a documentary on this whole project. So we're hoping to have a lot of impact, and it's really an example of how space exploration can inform and have an impact on life on Earth. And my heroes along those lines right now, the Artemis II astronauts, in 10 days, I feel like they just lifted the hearts of millions of people who were probably not feeling too good about the state of the world. So I just want everybody to know we're operating in that spirit, not on quite the same scale, but with the same idea in mind.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to kind of document this period in history where we're taking these first permanent steps. Yeah, I mean, I think I feel a lot of gratitude as well, to be working with you, working with Ron, Ryan, but also to be able to speak to all these companies and get an idea of where they are, and so it's really incredible to be able to just have a little bit of insight into the industry and have a little slice. It's just a very interesting period in human history right now that we're in. And we did reach out to companies like Vast and SpaceX, and even though we don't have the funding for those types of seats, they've still been able to connect us with interesting opportunities that we're following up on, and so there might still be pathways there. So I think we just need to keep the ball rolling on a lot of these threads and let serendipity do its work. So
I think that's kind of the theme of today, is serendipity. We've seen a lot of it in the past month as we've investigated these opportunities. Last thing I want to mention, because I know we're at the end, I think MoonDAO citizens should know that all of these organizations took MoonDAO very seriously. And I don't think anybody said, "Oh, we're not meeting with you." It's been it's been pretty, I think, reinforcing that they have been very open to what we wanted to talk about.
Right. Got some comments.
Oh, the U2. Okay.
Yeah. Andrew says Adam Savage flew on the U-2 Mythbusters.
Okay.
I think this is Arobi. I mean, yeah, and the community should be a part of the documentary. It's a
It will. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Sure.
course. Yeah. Okay. Looks like support for option 1 or 2.
It's hard to choose, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Ron, what are you doing over there? You're 2
Ron,
places at once.
Just following the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. U-2, I think it flies 80,000 feet.
They go very high.
Which is, I think, is the same as the high altitude MiG flight, which is the same altitude as some of the stratospheric balloon companies.
Yeah.
So definitely 3 phases of 3 different styles of demand and speed there, but
yeah, I guess 70,000 feet. Maybe it's a little bit under some of the stratospheric balloons, but you're kind of in the ballpark. It's pretty close, and kind of worth considering there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Andrew says worldview's about 100K feet, so 70 to 100K, not too far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just for reference on that, Zavalto is aiming for 80,000 feet. The most seems like they're the most likely balloon company to be in operations sooner than others. Soonest.
Yep. And I think everybody knows that if you're going on a balloon company flight, you're going to experience the overview effect to some extent, but you're going to near space, and you're not weightless, which is a big part of the experience. You're going to have a rocket for that, but if we focus on experiencing the overview effect, that's a little bit different than going to space. I think everybody understands that distinction, but it's an important one.
Right.
But it's really the overview effect and that experience of seeing the Earth from a distance. Ron, you might want to say something about that. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're the one who knows.
Yeah, no, glad to comment. Yeah, I think there's definitely a difference of being in a stratospheric balloon, and I think there's great advantage of being under black sky for 6 hours duration. Really gives you the chance to sit in. Yeah, the suborbital flight's a very different experience. It's a thrill it's a dream of a lifetime come true, and an exhilarating, beyond exhilarating rocket ride, and then this instantaneous euphoria of weightlessness, and and on top of all that, this incredible planet that's alive out in front of you and floating in dead black space, empty black space, vast emptiness. It can be truly life-changing. So I think that's more impactful. It would be more impactful than a stratospheric balloon. But as you might guess.
Yep.
So,
but the more flights, the better.
Absolutely.
We agreed we're just going to focus on one for this campaign, but
I
all sound fun and interesting. Yeah. And impactful.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, Frank, you get to fly on multiple flights and compare all of them, and this is part of the research you want to do. So, we'll help you get the ball rolling on the research. Get you on at least one of these flights, and hopefully,
one at a time. Multitasking. A lot of studies have shown multitasking doesn't work very well, and I'm sure when you're attempting to plan space flights. Multitasking is very challenging. So yeah, we'll focus on one step at a time here.
Great. Well, we're just past the hour here. Any other closing thoughts or anything we want to leave the community with before we close up the town hall?
No, just thank you again. We can't thank you enough. You're part of this whole process. Thank you.
Yeah. Call to action. So we do have the thread active. People are writing there in the Discord already. So leave your thoughts. Let us know what you think between some of the pathways that we've laid out. Yeah, we really want to kind of have the community's input and like I mentioned, this community intelligence. So, you know, if you notice any blind spots in our thinking, companies we haven't spoken to, ideas that that we might not have considered so far, please give us your thoughts. So, yeah. Cool. All right. Then I think we can close it up. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, all.
Ciao, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
See you all in space.
See you in space. Our world is not in good shape. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that we, as the crew of Spaceship Earth, we're kind of doing a terrible job of being the crew.
All the astronauts say when they get up top, they're like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah. But explain to me what the overview effect is.
You know, it is absolutely gorgeous. Overview effect is when you're looking through that cupola, it's like the bay window looking down on the Earth, and you see just that, the Earth as it exists with the whole universe in the background. You see the thin blue line of the atmosphere, and then when you're on the dark side of the Earth, you actually see this very thin green line that shows you where the atmosphere is. And what you realize is every single person you know is sustained and inside of that green line, and everything else outside of it is completely inhospitable. You don't see borders, you don't see religious lines, you don't see political boundaries. All you see is Earth, and you see that we're way more alike than we are different.
Booster ignition and liftoff.
The Artemis mission illustrated the difference between surface thinking and overview thinking. Seen from the surface of the Earth, we perceive difference, division, conflict. But from above the surface, we perceive unity, oneness, interconnection, and cooperation. This is an inflection point where humanity has a choice between the two. And our decision will influence life on Earth and off-world for millennia.
When I think about Frank floating and experiencing Earth out the window of a spaceship, I am totally humbled by that.
Frank White is somebody who's devoted the last 30 plus years to not only explaining what the overview effect is, but more importantly, what the implications of that shift in perspective is for our planet.
We don't often think about the ripple effect of stuff that we do. So those of you thinking of supporting Frank, it's not just about him going to space, it's the ripple effect from that experience when he comes back, and that's why we should send Frank to space.
We're inviting people to go beyond making a contribution and join the mission. It won't just be a flight, but also support for bringing the overview effect down to Earth. So join us in sending Frank to space.
Send Frank to space!
And bring him back.
It's time for us to fly Frank to space.
Let's get Frank to space.
Let's send Frank to space.
We're here to say, send Frank to space.
Send Frank to space! Send Frank to space!
Send Frank to space.
Get Frank to space. Send Frank to space.
To engage in supporting the project of sending my friend Frank White into space.
Let's get this guy to space. Forget about me. Let's get Frank White to space. Tell them one more time.
Let's send Frank to space.